Hey guys, what up? How's it going? I'm Enrique, and this is Easy Things to Draw. Today's video, I'm going to tell you the subject, and then I'm going to go off a little on why I kind of want to, talk about this. So I'm going to be talking about drawing schedules, and we did kind of touch on that in a few other videos, but I want to talk about your drawing schedule. What I really specifically want, and I'm going to say this at the beginning of the video, and I'm going to say this at the very end. I'm actually really curious to know what your drawing schedule is like, just vaguely, an average. How many times, either a week, do you draw, or maybe like in terms of like how many hours generally do you put in, or just a vague description like, oh, I draw just a little bit before I go to sleep every couple of nights or every other night, or things like that. And I wanted to go over a little bit about my schedule when I started out and my schedule now, and kind of how I treat that. The reason I have this is just a page I'm working on for myself, for the heck of it. The reason I even have it here is so that, you're not just staring at a blank screen, I guess, when you're hearing me talk. So that's kind of the only purpose of it is. So let's kind of get into this. This really came to my attention, and it always comes to my attention when I tutor somebody. I was tutoring, I private tutor sometimes people in drawing, if they live next to me. And something that really keeps coming up, and you've heard me say this, is I notice they don't practice at all through the week. And that, and I've said this before, I hate that. I mean, I hate that. Because you're not going to get better unless you practice something. So I would see them, and they'd come back, and they didn't really draw at all during the week. And I'm like, okay, maybe even draw once, through the week. Just so I'm not, and I end up kind of giving them the same lesson over again, which can in some ways be good, but not really. I kind of felt like I was wasting time, and I would just cut people off like that, because I'm like, man, you're not getting better, you're just giving me money, and honestly, that, as good as that sounds, honestly, it's not. It pisses me off that it's a waste of time, and it just bothers me. It really bothers me because that's not rewarding for either one of us. You know what I mean? So I've literally just cut people off if they weren't practicing, so forget it. So on that topic, I was asking some of my friends about their schedules, and like people that I know as casual artists. With Karina. Karina's been on here before. She's a really close friend of mine, and yeah, like they would draw, I think, well, okay, let me go into my schedule and how it was when I started. You guys know my story. I started when I was 17. When I was started drawing, I didn't really draw at all really until I was 17, and that I noticed was I was trying to catch up. A lot of guys and girls, they were drawing since they were like 5 years old, something like that, right? I was hearing all these stories about, well, ever since I could, draw, I had a tiny sketchbook when I was a little kid. I would draw on the wall and whatever, that was funny, and to me I was like, what, like, really? That's weird. Like, I never did that. Like, I started consciously when I was 17, so it's it's just interesting. So toward that beginning, when I was about, I would say 17, not really 17, more like 18, because I graduated high school, so I had to be at least 18. So sometimes I say 17, I don't know why. I guess I forgot my age at the time. So let's say 18. I was drawing like constantly in the beginning, like constantly, like just obscenely, when I was going to this school, in a tiny art school in Encinitas. I was drawing maybe, I don't know, it's kind of hard to put an hour on it, but if I was to really think about it, it would probably be, I don't know, like 8 hours a day or 9. Like, I didn't have a job, right? I barely had school, actually. I don't think I really had school back then either. It was just art school. And it was all really concentrated. It wasn't like art school, like art center. It was like art school, like you just learning life drawing and the basics of just drawing in general. So that was, completely different kind of setting, where I had all this time and all I did was that. And I was also the biggest introvert ever back then. So all that combined, I was seriously sketching, like literally, like all day. And that I just wanted to like become adequate, right? I wanted to be able to draw what I needed to draw and have it look like it, and that's it. I wasn't after being like, even the job thing, I wasn't thinking about that. I was just like, I just want to be adequate, and that's it. And then I would say it fell off. I'll say a few years into that, there's a few years where I kind of hit this wall mentally while I was drawing. And by the way, if you don't want to hit that mental wall, go check out that. I made a bunch of videos on that topic, and it's on my website called refinethedesign.com. I'm not really going to link it in the description or anything like that, but I forget why, because there's something going on with the links on my page. But go check that out if you have time. If you remember, refinethedesign.com, and it's called Art Boost videos, and it's kind of to boost your basically get over those little mental barriers that seemed to that pulled me back like crazy. So I just made a little thing about it, like 25 videos of me yapping like this. But anyways, go check that out. But let me think, what else? What was I talking about? But, so, okay, and then there was a period of time where I kind of lost my mind. And I was like, man, I need something more than art, and that is when I was drawing only maybe 20 minutes a day, maybe that. And that you have to understand the contrast, right? The contrast, it felt like nothing. It felt like I was drawing, like, compared to the way I was before. 20 minutes compared to that, whatever, all day, 8-hour-a-thon, whatever, that was completely different, right? And that was me, that's kind of where I was coming from. So if you flash forward a little bit, obviously I was working at some point, so that was different as well. And when you work, it's a little different. When you work, you tend to do. I was working for a movie studio, right? I was doing that the stereo artist thing. It was artistic, but it was a little different. It was more like computery. They're very different. But outside of that, I was doing I'm talking about outside of commissions. I'm talking about stuff where I had to come in. Really, one was when I was drawing at SeaWorld. I was doing all these caricatures, and that's drawing in a way that I wasn't used to. And what I ended up doing there was I barely drew outside of work because I was kind of sick of drawing all day. So that was around the time as well. I was drawing maybe 20 minutes for a few years. And then up to a few years ago when I started the YouTube channel, it changed again, and I would say it was back to, let me think, I would say after the YouTube channel and now, it was maybe 5 hours now. It's the way I normally do stuff, this is the way my schedule is currently, and that'll really clarify how it was the last couple of years. I would get home maybe about 10-ish, 10 at night, 9 at night, something like that, from whatever I was doing, whether it be meeting a friend or doing something. And I would come home, and when I was home, I would immediately sit down, watch a movie, and while I'm watching a movie, I would draw. Either I would draw for relaxation, like my own stuff, or I would practice something somewhere. And that, you know what I mean? That is, that would take about 5 hours. It would be from 9 to 2 a.m. I'd always go to sleep at 2. I never really go to sleep before 1 or 2 a.m. That's just kind of how I am. Right now, actually, it got pretty crazy at one point. At one point, I was going to sleep at 5 a.m. I had real insomnia, I thought, at one point. But right now, it's okay. I'm comfortable with it. It's about 2 a.m. right now, and it's a really comfortable 2 a.m. But anyways, that is kind of my current drawing schedule right now, and and then the last few years for me. That might change again. It might ramp up or ramp down, but I'll at least draw. Obviously the quality of what you're drawing is a thing. The quality of your practice is a major thing. What are you drawing, right? Are you just spinning your wheels? Are you, what is it that you're practicing exactly? Or that all matters, and I talk about that in a bunch of other videos, and even that one video, the video collection I talked to you about, the art boost stuff. I talk all about that, the quality, what are you doing? But that is pretty much it. So that the point of this video, and I really would not. It's the point of this video. Sorry, I tripped over my own words. The real point of this video is not really to lecture you about what I've been doing. What I really want to know is I want to know your schedule, because it's really important for me to know. I don't know. I feel like it's important. I'm gonna be honest. A big chunk of it is curiosity, because sometimes I just can't relate to someone that doesn't, really draw a lot. You know what I mean? Like that's an artist and they say stuff like, "Oh, I only draw once a week." You know, I can't relate to that. It's so hard for me to relate to it. And I'm wondering, is that a common thing, or does anybody out there, draw as much as I do, like 5 hours a day, or like, you know what I mean? And again, clarify what you consider yourself. Are you just a hobbyist? Do you consider yourself like, hey, I want to work in this one day, or are you working in it right now? Like, let me know that, and let me know maybe how many hours a day you do it, or maybe how many hours a week, or like I said, maybe how many days a week. Please let me know in the comments. That's pretty much the whole point of this video. I want to know how often you guys do it, and that's pretty much it. I'll have a dialogue with you guys down in the comments below. So please post that, and I'll talk to you guys later. See you soon.